Hey everybody, and welcome back to the That Was 3 podcast, the podcast where one wrestling-obsessed couple talks all things pro wrestling. I'm Gina.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is the That Was 3 podcast.
It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. We are live on Twitch recapping AEW Dynamite, and what a Dynamite it was. Be sure to check us out after every major show, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for both AEW and WWE. And if you can't catch us live, we will be putting these up on YouTube the day after, as well as on all podcast services, including Spotify. So check those out as well, and give us a like, follow, subscribe. All of that stuff really, really helps.
Also, don't forget to follow us on socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at That Was 3 Pod. There is new content constantly coming out now.
So Gina, AEW Dynamite.
AEW Dynamite.
Why don't we start with the main event? Because we just finished watching it. AEW Dynamite just went off the air. What a main event that was. It was Andrade versus Cody. Mm-hmm. It was an Atlanta street fight.
Which is way better than the other street fight.
Yeah, I don't know if these actually have different rules or if they just name them after.
There's just no rules, I think, to like the street fights. There'll be a Dallas street fight, I'm sure.
But it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good. That was the best match of the night, hands down, I think. It was the most intense match of the night.
Definitely the most intense.
At least.
It started off with a little bit of a rocky segment where Arn Anderson accidentally trips off the stage.
I know, he missteps and he falls down, poor man.
You were so concerned.
I was really nervous for him because, like, he's older. He can get hurt a lot faster than others.
That's true. If you didn't see it, essentially what happened was Arn Anderson was reacting to somebody running up the steps, and he just lost his footing and, like, tripped off the side of the ramp.
No, he didn't even trip. He was, like, he was doing his intro with Cody, and then as Andrade ran up the ramp, he took a step out. And when he took a step out, he didn't stand on it. There was no ramp left for him to stand on. So he kind of just misstepped, I think, other than tripped. But it was so sad. And then he was like there.
If there's one way to win Gina over, it's by doing anything with an old man.
That's true.
She just immediately gets invested.
I do.
But they help him up. He ends up being fine. Yeah. And then
kicks some ass and moves on.
We go on to a pretty good fight. There were a couple of funny things here. One, the crowd has no idea what to do with Cody. Apparently, we were in his hometown of Atlanta.
I know. When they were, like, cheering for him, I was like, what's up? And then I realized he was from Atlanta. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, he was getting cheers, and then he was getting boos, and then he was getting cheers, then he was getting boos. The crowd was really split. They had no idea what to do with Cody.
Loyalty, but not loyalty.
Yeah.
There was a lot of signs also that said, turn, Cody, turn.
In the front, right.
Yeah, this little kid. Who's funny.
Right against the railing, there was somebody who had a sign that said, turn, Cody, turn. And the second funny thing was Cody had a whole bunch of weird stuff on his back. It looked like he was peeling from, like, a seriously bad sunburn
or something.
Yeah. And you made a comment that I think was along the lines of, oh, he's shedding his good guy personality.
Yeah, I was like, maybe he's shedding his good guy persona. That's not what it was. We soon find out what it actually was.
And I will say, I didn't tweet it out, I thought about it, but I did call it while we were watching it.
Yeah, he did.
As soon as I saw it, when Cody came out, my first thought was, oh, somebody's getting set on fire. Like, that's the flame-resistant gel or whatever. And sure enough, at the end of this match, we get a mysterious figure in an AEW hoodie coming into the ring. They've been
with a mask, which I loved.
With a mask. They've been setting up this spot onto the table from the top rope for like the last minute or two. And Brandi Rhodes comes out and sprays whatever onto the whatever, and then lights it on fire. Lights it on fire. Cody does a suplex off the top. And just takes the full brunt of it. Like,
and then the entire match, the, like, flame resistant
has been peeling off. Yeah.
So there's, like, virtually nothing on his back that's going to stop him from getting actually hurt. Man. And he lands flat on that.
Andrade didn't hit that table at all. Cody landed on it flat on his back. It took him a few seconds to jump up off of it. And as he went for the pin, both he and Andrade were on fire. Like, Cody's boot still had a fire on it. Yeah. Cody's shoulder had a fire that was still lit.
He had a piece on his shoulder that when he pinned Andrade, it fell onto his chest. Right. And you see, like, I was like, oh, fuck. Like,
Andrade's like, scrabbling to, like, grab it, to grab it off.
It was intense. I think the most intense, though, even more than the fire, was the chair kick to the face. The knees.
Yeah.
Y'all, that...
Andrade's double knees into Cody in the corner.
It was gotcha.
We legit, Gina at the end of the match was like, Cody might have a real concussion.
Yeah, because he looks at the ref and says what happened. And it could just be a play because he gets up, right? But that hit, like, he didn't even... That's the second that's the second chair that he didn't get to block. Oh, no. The first one was a laptop.
Yeah.
As Andrade goes to, like, hit him in the head... He hits him and then his hands go. It just misses like hard, and the ref is continuously checking on him, and he's like checking and then checking, and it's the most I've seen a ref like really involved. Yeah, it was an intensely amazing match.
Very intense match.
I agree, Matt.
Yeah, I love everything that's been going on with Malachi Black, Andrade, and Cody Rhodes. Matt in the chat says that he's excited for the Cody heel turn, and I completely agree. I think we're obviously going towards it.
I hope so. Then Brandi may be back. Maybe that's what this is.
Brandi's been showing up a little bit more. I like that. I thought, just such a good ending.
Such
to Dynamite.
A good ending.
Like, I mean, good show overall. I really enjoyed the show, but what an intense way to end Dynamite.
I think my second favorite match was probably Ruby Soho and...
I agree. I would say that was the one I believe maybe right before this.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was the TBS title tournament, which I actually really like how they've been this has been kind of slowly building.
Mm-hmm.
I like that I would assume, I mean, they haven't announced this, but I would assume the final will be the first match on TBS, because
I think so.
That makes sense. So we have in this match Kris Statlander versus Ruby Soho, and talk about two people who are super over with the crowd.
Yeah, truthfully.
Ruby is over just because she's Ruby, but she's also over because her theme song is fucking amazing. And in this particular case, she comes out and Taz just starts singing on the live mic her song, but singing it wrong, singing the words wrong. It was really funny, and also exactly what I would do if I was commentating a match. I really liked it. And then the match was really good. We had some really good spots, really good chain wrestling. Kris Statlander did the boop. Which
there's a lot of respect between the two, which I really, really like.
Yes.
Because there's so much animosity in the women's division right now with Thunder Rosa and also Jade. I love her, Jade Cargill. I love her, but she's got a bitch streak, and that's what she's known for. Her character is a bitch streak. So it's so nice to see a different, a different of. I don't know, just a new story. Because immediately after Ruby pins, and immediately after Vicky Guerrero comes out and is yelling Vicky style, and then Nyla just comes and
throws her off the top rope.
Fucking tosses her off the rope.
It looked really good.
It was good. It was, but I did like that little bit of respect between the two.
Yeah. So Ruby shakes her hand and then they hug, and then Ruby raises her hand and
become a best friend.
Really liked all of that. Really good match.
Really good match. I like the segments too. The Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole.
Oh yeah, earlier in the show.
I was kind of, I don't know. Adam Cole walked all the way to the ring to walk all the way back up, and I was like, okay, baby. Sure.
Yeah, so Adam Cole doesn't have a match today. He's just doing commentary.
It wasn't even a full commentary, was it?
Well, no, he came out to do commentary, and then he got confronted by Orange Cassidy.
Love.
Orange Cassidy is amazing. We're big fans. He comes out, he does his Orange Cassidy thing, and then the Bucks come out, and the Bucks,
even more,
the Bucks do this thing where they're instead of actually super kicking him, they're slowly tapping him, and the crowd is going, whoa! Which, again, shout out to AEW crowds. They just always understand the assignment.
Man.
They don't...
They understood the assignment.
I would if I was watching this and I didn't know any better, I would assume there were those flashing applause.
Like the games?
Symbol. Yeah. Where it's okay, say whoa it's Orange Cassidy, but for the Bucks. The AEW crowd is so on it.
They're
and
good.
I really, really like it.
They're great. I think that's what really, really makes the show, though, is the
crowd.
The fans.
For sure. Adam Cole does come out before this spot, though, and does his full entrance, comes out to the show, does the Adam Cole baby, just so he can walk back up
just
the ramp and
to
sit down the commentary. Which
I was like,
I love.
I thought he was gonna cut a promo in the ring, and then walks back up, and I was like,
no,
okay.
He's just showing how over he is.
He is so
walk to the ring for no reason, get the big Adam Cole baby,
truly
go back up. He should do that every show, whether he's on it or
agree.
not.
I like this feud that they're building though between him and Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I mean, it's not Jungle Boy, so it's great.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of similar to the Jungle Boy thing, where it's like, okay, it's Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends now instead of Jungle Boy and Jurassic Express. But it is what it is, and I know that there's been rumors forever that AEW is going to add a 3 versus 3 tag team division. And so, like, keeping that spirit alive and having these 3 versus 3 matches, I think makes sense.
Yeah.
But real quickly, going back to the women's match, so coming up, we have Ruby Soho versus Nyla Rose, and we have Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa.
Yep.
Thunder Rosa, by the way, had a really good promo backstage where she interrupts Jade Cargill and is like going off in Spanish.
Love it.
What do you remember what she said? Because I don't understand. So
she said you're a bitch. No, I don't. Nah, she just said, like, you're talking your mouth, you respect nobody, you don't respect me, you don't respect anybody, you're just running your mouth with your stupid shit, is basically what she said.
I really like Spanish because it sounds so much cooler to get mad and, like, talk really fast in Spanish.
In middle school, I would walk around and be like, mochila! When I would get mad. That means backpack for everybody at home listening. And people would be like,
you were so
Gina.
hard.
I know, I was just, rebel! So, yeah, I would walk around and say, like, mochila and, like, lapis. And, like, just because it sounds, it's like German. If you say certain words, you're just going to sound angry and upset.
That's true.
So it's pretty great. And then I learned bad words, and I was like, pinche chingada madre. Mom, don't listen to this.
So for the tournament, who do you think is going to win? We have Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho. Who do you think is taking it?
I think it's going to be Ruby. I want it to be Nyla.
Interesting.
But I think it's going to be Ruby because she's so over.
So I think it's going to be Nyla.
I hope it's Nyla.
I hope it's Nyla too. I don't really have a reason for thinking this other than if I was booking, my thought process would be kind of, one, I want to reward the people who've been here since the beginning.
That's what
like, I don't know if everyone felt this way. We kind of felt this when Ruby came out, that it was a little cheap to have her immediately get a title shot, even though she was brand new.
I was big on that. Like, I'm a Ruby fan, but I really disliked that she just came in and kind of dominated on her first match. Because, like, Bryan has come in and basically dominated.
Bryan's definitely doing that.
But
Bryan's Bryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that because I don't want to, like, lessen Ruby Soho because she's fantastic. But Bryan Danielson is Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
And we knew he was coming in for that reason. You know what I mean? Like, to dominate. And I guess it's fair now that I say it out loud. I take it back. Damn it.
I will, but because she got that initial shot, I wouldn't have
this is what I was going to separate, though. Bryan is beating people slowly. She, like, fucking crushed people in one thing, making her look superior. Which she could be, and that's what could be what they're going for. But earn your spot if you're coming in late. Yeah,
looking back on it, I don't mind it as much as I did at the time. But because she already got that shot, I wouldn't have her in the finals of this. And I think Jade is going to win the other match. So it's Jade versus Thunder Rosa.
I want it to be Thunder Rosa
because we love Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be Jade, one, because she's undefeated and they've really been building her and they've really been hyping her up. But two, Thunder Rosa is money regardless. She doesn't need a TBS title. And I think she's going to be the next women's champion beating Britt Baker. So makes sense to have Jade win. And I think Jade versus Nyla, like power versus power, would be a really, really good match.
I agree.
So really excited for that.
Going back to promos, I kind of like the promos this show. I believe they're breaking up Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely planting the seeds.
It's gonna happen sooner than later, I think.
Jamie Hayter's body language was definitely not about it.
DMD, and Jamie was like...
Yeah, Jamie just...
Pass.
Yeah. And they, like, it wasn't just body language. She, like, made a comment of, like...
They were verbally spatting.
Yeah, Britt Baker was like, well, you lost. And she was like, well, isn't one of your best matches against Thunder Rosa? You lost? Yeah.
Yeah, they're just making that divide, which is cool because they might just put them against each other and have Jamie take.
Maybe.
Because Jamie's good.
Jamie is very good. And I like this, like, they're subtly building it. One thing I didn't like, speaking of Britt Baker, is MJF comes out after a CM Punk match.
I agree.
Let's set it up a little bit. So CM Punk has a match against Lee Moriarty, and it's a really good match. It's kind of in line with what Punk has been doing, fighting the younger guys.
Slower.
It's definitely a slower match.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because MJF comes out and does a promo, which we'll get to in a second.
In a Hanukkah suit.
I think that it feels like Punk is struggling. But I don't think it's because he's actually struggling. I don't think it's like a physical ability thing. I think this is just the story they're telling, which I think is really smart if that's what they're doing.
I hope that's what they're doing.
But Lee Moriarty looks great in this match. Punk is putting over everybody that he has a match with.
That's true.
He does end up winning, but Moriarty looks better in this match than Punk does.
Yeah, I agree.
And MJF comes out, and this is why I think it's part of the story, is because it's either Punk is actually struggling and they said, hey, you're struggling, we have to lean into it and like tell a story with it, or they said, hey, this would be a good story to tell, like we want you to look
and
like you're struggling.
And then come back and kick somebody's ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Either way, it's working, and MJF comes out and is like, he's on commentary for the match, which he's good. He's good on commentary. And then after the match, he grabs a mic and says, it's taking you forever to beat these like lower guys. Really?
I did not, and I'm normally an MJF fan on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like him on commentary this time. I feel like he was reaching for some of those hits.
In the promo, I thought he was. In the commentary, I thought it was okay.
If we go back and watch it, really listen. Because normally he flows so well, which is what's great about him. And he was like...
I will say, the PG Punk name, I'm over it.
It's not sticking.
I'm over it.
It's not sticking.
Yeah.
Moving into his promo... He immediately brought in Britt Baker.
Yeah, so I'm guessing this is because Punk has mentioned Britt Baker a few times. Like, in a few of Punk's promos, he has put over Britt Baker in a positive way.
Yeah, saying that she could beat whoever. Yeah,
right, and being a pillar. And also, there was some videos that came out after one of the other shows where Punk came out to talk to the crowd, and he was wearing Britt's jacket, which was way too small for him, so it, like, looked funny. So it may have been, like, a little bit of a comment on that. But between that and this, like, Adam Shivani angle they're doing where Cole is jealous, like, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that type of jab.
Clearly this is building to the Adam Cole thing. But, I hope.
It's a little weird.
It felt weird. Like it.
He did
I love me some drama, but I was like, the fuck is this?
He did post a selfie with Britt Baker during the, after that segment. No, MJF. So, I don't think there's any heat backstage.
No,
I don't think it was I don't think it was meant to be insulting or anything, but just felt a little weird.
I feel like they're just, as far as female wrestling and female empowerment, I feel like they're going backwards by doing this.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the whole Chris Jericho stuff with leading up to the America's Top Team where they kept saying those sexist jokes. It's we just don't need this kind of thing.
Don't throw in... Love you, MJF. I do. Don't throw in another woman's name. Like, you want to cut Punk down? Cut him down somehow or other. Like, he has a bunch of fucking things that you can talk to him about. Yeah. It bothers me because I feel like, and we haven't even come that far when it comes to female wrestlers. We're not making as much progress as we should be. We're making little steps, which little steps are better than no steps. But doing this angle, it's basically like going back.
It's like the Attitude Era.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just not... It ain't the Attitude Era. It's 2021. Let's move on.
I agree.
2022.
And honestly, overall, I thought this promo was kind of weak. You mentioned,
super.
It feels really forced. It feels like he's really reaching for stuff. Even Punk, when he returns, I felt like wasn't very good. And maybe it's just the coming down from their 10 out of 10, like, awesome promo last week. I feel like
maybe it's just, like, stress on them to be like, we have to be better. And then you didn't. You sucked it up.
Still looking forward to eventually when they fight. I think this is going to be great overall. Wasn't loving it tonight. Speaking of not loving promos, the first match of the night, the opening match, was Bryan Danielson. And he comes out and fights Alan Angels. Really good match, as usual. As usual, Bryan gets a fairly dominant win, but the guy he's fighting looks good in spots. AEW does a really good job of this, of even when they're jobbing, like even when it's somebody who is clearly intended to lose to make the winner look better, they do a good job of making them not look incompetent, which I feel like happens a lot in WWE they look incompetent. But a really good match. Bryan gets the win relatively easily. And after the match, Hangman was on commentary, and talk about bad commentary.
Did he talk?
We talked about this before. He barely talked. There was one point where a commentator asked him a question. He didn't respond, and the person who asked him the question said, "Okay then," and had to move on. And like, we've talked about it before, or maybe right after the pay-per-view where Hangman won, where we don't know Hangman.
No.
We have no connection to him. All we know of him is in the last like 2 or 3 months, and he hasn't done very much other than wrestle Kenny Omega. Like, he hasn't really talked on the mic. We haven't really had very many promos, so I don't know who he is as a character. And so maybe this is just his character. Maybe his character is aloof and like laid back and doesn't talk.
Yeah.
Nothing that they did in this made me any more excited for their match. Other than the fact that it's going to be an amazing wrestling match. Like, I didn't particularly like Bryan's promo. And Adam Hangman Page did pretty much nothing. Like, he barely talked. It's weird.
I said this when he took the belt. That I was not loving these promos. Even Bryan heel turn, I'm not a fan of it. And I love Bryan.
I'm a fan of the heel. I'm a fan of all the little mannerisms he's doing. I'm a fan of how vicious he's wrestling.
Well, no, that's not fair. I do like the way he's wrestling, and like it's more. I don't like his promo work in this character, is what I'll say.
Yeah, I agree.
And Adam Page, I don't. Unless people are gonna fight me on this, but I don't have the background. Hands up, I don't have background that everybody else does. Okay. Has he always been this quiet and not great on the mic?
I wouldn't even say he's
loyalty?
not. I wouldn't even say he's not great. He's not doing anything. We haven't had an opportunity to see if he's great or not. He's not saying anything.
I feel like following up Kenny Omega is that we came over Kenny Omega.
It's a hard.
Yeah, like Kenny Omega is now one of my absolute favorite wrestlers of all time, and he's fantastic on everything he does, and on the like. Yeah. I will say, when we first started hanging out, like, when we first started talking wrestling with Matt was like, Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega, and I was like, this guy's okay. I get the hype. Matt, you win. I'm a huge fan now. But, I don't know, I guess coming from seeing somebody so good on the mic to somebody who I haven't heard on the mic is a big, big difference.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because I'm obviously excited. Bryan versus Page is going to be an amazing match. Like, if his match with Kenny is any indication, Hangman and Bryan are going to have an absolute banger of a match.
I agree.
And I actually do I like the Bryan heel turn for a couple of reasons. Like, one, I do love it when he's vicious in the ring. I think Bryan's at his best when he is, like, dominating people and, like, trying to hurt people in the ring. I love it. I love all the little mannerisms he's doing in the ring. Mm-hmm. I don't love the I'm going to kick your head in and I'll see you in your hometown next week. Like, the promo isn't hitting for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little conflicted with it. But I will say Bryan did an interview over the weekend where he talked about his time in WWE and essentially said that he did not like the yes chants. That it felt like he felt like he was pigeonholed into only being that character ever after the yes movement. And that he didn't feel like he could do what he wanted creatively because he just had to be this positive yes guy.
Yeah.
And he said that his favorite run in WWE was the one that we missed. It was when he was heel and he was the champion, the people's champion or the planet's champion. So I'm assuming being a heel was his idea. So I'm happy for him to get to have fun and do what he wants to do. But yeah, just the promo work between these two is not hitting for me yet.
Same. I'm not hyped about it, which I should be at this point. Which makes it sound like I'm talking about WWE. But yeah, I'm not really hyped about... I'm hyped it's in Texas.
Yeah. We could go. We'll see.
We'll see. Anything else from the match standing out? Oh, Taz's promo with
Lio Rush.
With Lio Rush.
Yeah.
Lio Rush did a good promo.
Yeah, I like Lio Rush a lot. Matt says Hangman has always been Matt. I feel like that. Matt's been watching AEW a lot longer than we have.
Forever.
And so, but I do feel like that is a unpopular opinion amongst the fans. But I agree. So far, I don't get it.
No, same.
We'll see if he wins us over.
I'm hoping. Or Danielson. suddenly.
Honestly, like, Bryan is hot right now, and I don't think they would do this just because Hangman winning was such a moment for longtime AEW fans. I don't think they'd have him lose immediately afterwards. But if you want to build heat on Bryan and have a heel run as a champion, talk about building, like, Bryan would get booed out of the building in every single arena if he beats Hangman on the 15th. But yeah, Taz and Lio Rush have a little back and forth, and Dante Martin and
comes out.
Ricky Starks come out and like stand in front of him. I felt like this storyline to me felt a little rushed. Like
it wasn't a good spot for the promo.
The Dante Martin, not the heel turn of Martin and like signing with Team Taz felt rushed to me.
Well, yeah, they came out 3 times and then he turned heel.
This promo though was good. I really like Lio Rush, and I'm excited to see them continue to do things with him.
Yeah.
Because I just think he's great. I think he's great in the ring. I think he's good on the mic. More of him. Mm-hmm. I like him a lot.
No, we had, I think one of the big moments was Sting fighting. Like, actually fighting.
I actually, I don't think I tweeted it out, but I made a note of it while we were watching. That match, it was Billy Gunn and his son, I think his name's Colton, versus Darby and Sting. And it's just such a good example of how to do veterans' rights. It's such a stark difference from what we see in WWE, where Sting is a legend. Like, arguably, I don't even think it's arguably. I think Sting is definitively a bigger legend than Goldberg is, for example. And Sting has been back for a while now, and the way they are using him just perfectly utilizes his talent, his character, lets him have a few spots in the ring from time to time, but doesn't overdo it, not pushing him for titles or anything like that. I just think it works. And when you put him across from someone like Billy Gunn, where there's history there, but mostly it's just like...
Also similar styles.
Just the history we know, not against each other, but just separately. And Billy Gunn, just amazing. Like, it's amazing how in shape he is. It's amazing how big he is. He can definitely still go in the ring. And letting those two just have a good match. Like, that was a good match.
Darby's just insane.
I will say the son, Colton, felt like he was a little lost. There were a few spots where he was doing, like, chain wrestling with Darby, and he looked lost. So I didn't love that.
I don't know. I think with the stuff with one of the sons of Gunn, I feel like there's just a lot. It was I don't know. I think if you have a scandal like that and such a sensitive topic, take the back seat and don't come out.
I'm not sure which one it was.
But both of the sons were out is what I'm saying today.
No, yeah, one was at ringside.
Exactly.
So what Gina's referring to is, for anyone who isn't aware, there was some old tweets that were found of, I believe one of the Gunn sons using the N-word. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah. And it was, I don't know how many years ago it was now, but I know that it was when he was 17. And, age isn't an excuse, but I feel like his apology read sincere. Like, he put out an apology that wasn't like... It was very much taking ownership of it, of like, it was very much like, I shouldn't have said it, like, I've learned from, my mistakes, I'm a completely different person now, I take full responsibility, that kind of thing, which is how you should respond to this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, like, all I'll say is, like, we grew up before social media. If I had Twitter when I was 14, there would be shit on there that would mortify me now. Like, I would look back on that and be like, that person is a piece of shit.
I'm not saying cancel culture him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying...
Maybe stay off TV for a few weeks.
Just a little bit. Let the heat die down. Let people digest your apology. Because a lot of people who it truly offended may not be digesting it the way we do because we don't understand their point of view.
100%, yeah.
So, I guess that was my thing. I wasn't super thrilled about this match because I was like, dude, maybe we should just for
chill
like
out.
2 weeks to like let your brother and your dad go out and cheer from backstage just for a little bit and then come out and once the shit has flown off the fan.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see like how people respond online because I saw a lot of blowback from it like last week and the week before. I didn't notice anything during the match, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Definitely understand, like, anybody who's offended by it, 100% understandable. Like, that's something you shouldn't say, and there is no excuse for it. But yeah, as far as the match goes, I thought the match was actually pretty entertaining. And I thought it was interesting. They mentioned these were both the two remaining undefeated tag teams like of this year, and they mentioned that the Gunn team was ranked number 3 in like the tag team division, which is one good they got a loss because they shouldn't ever get a title shot. But it gives you that sense that like wins and losses matter and that all of this is you know what I mean, like that every show, even if it's a match that you don't care about, has meaning because the overall records matter. And like I just think that's so cool. I think it's a way that AEW makes everything feel fresh no matter what they're doing.
I agree. So if we're counting, I'm like a month and a half in of just watching AEW.
That's true. Yeah, since All Out.
Still on board. That's all I got. Do you have anything else?
No, that was AEW Dynamite. I thought it was a pretty good show. Very excited for Rampage this week, and very excited for the Winter is Coming pay-per-view, where, I don't know if we mentioned this, but they did officially announce that Daniel Bryan and Adam Hangman Page for the AEW title would be on December 15th, Winter is Coming. So I'm very excited to see what we do there. And yeah.
And just a side note, if you are not following us on socials, you should, because there's some new logo stuff and new fun stuff in the works.
Yes, we will be, we do have a new logo. We will have a new intro soon. And we're going to keep experimenting with like different graphics, different overlays. So if you have any suggestions, leave a comment.
Yeah. Also, if you see the post, I don't know, like it. Just saying. That's all I got tonight.
So yeah, be sure to check us out on YouTube, Twitter, all of that good stuff. And we'll be live again this Friday for both SmackDown and Rampage. Recap and review. Gina will be out of town this weekend. She is going back home again. But while she's there, she's going to be seeing a live show.
I am.
First time we're ever seeing a live, or first time you'll ever be seeing a live show.
A house show.
House show, yeah.
Not a live show. We've seen a few live shows. House show. It'll be my first house show.
Which is exciting.
Yeah.
While she is doing that, I will be watching NXT TakeOver, and I will be doing a live reaction after the TakeOver.
And then there is a new thing that we're doing on our Instagram. Go follow. I have bought Renee's book.
Oh, yeah.
And I will be cooking through it.
I don't know where it is, but I also just got Jon Moxley's book, and so I'll let you guys know how that is. We also got the Young Bucks book.
We did. I bought it. I'm a sucker. I'm now a sucker. But yeah, so we will be doing Renee Pack's recipes and random stuff on our channel, so please join us and follow and tell your friends.
All right. Well, we will see you on Friday. Thanks for joining, and have a good day.
Bye!